going, everybody? Wowman Wes here, and welcome to another edition of Worst State of Movies. Again, we are still on that Midwest tour, so let's move on to our next state. We now venture onto the other side of the Mississippi from Illinois to Iowa. That's where I'm residing right now. Home of the Hawkeyes, Slipknot, and that long Interstate 80 that you can completely lose your mind and sanity driving across. But I digress on that. In the society that we live in, nepotism can hit any industry that can make a successful life. Now, the subject matter in this one, I have to tread a little lightly because of the content matter. Today we're going to be talking about 2011's Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star. The movie is about a young man named Bucky, as we've just mentioned, who has really socially awkward tendencies, buck teeth, and a Captain Kangaroo haircut. He gets fired from his job, but he's always told that he is destined for greatness. And eventually he hangs out with his friends and they decide they're going to watch an adult film from the 70s, and it turns out that the performers in this movie were Bucky's own mother and father. Bucky sits down with his parents and confronts them on their past experience in the industry. They admit to it, and all of a sudden Bucky gets it in his head that he's destined for greatness to become an adult film star as well. He heads to California, starts meeting people such as this waitress that he starts to form a little bit of a bond with, and he also meets some people from the adult industry, and there's one small problem with Bucky. I think just saying that you get where I'm going. Yeah, that we're just gonna say that. However, this does not dissuade Bucky from staying away from the adult industry. There is a man that did directorial work on adult films who brings him in and auditions him to finish quickly without even performing the act. And he becomes an internet sensation. The people in the adult film industry that turned him down start getting upset about it. He goes to the Avian Awards where he breaks the record of winning all the awards. And you know what they say? Was the going up worth the coming down? Archer, take that for phrasing. In the midst of all this, the relationship between Bucky and this waitress that he has formed feelings for comes crashing down after they have a moment of their own. And eventually, the director that took Bucky in admits to sabotaging him. They need to fix the whole situation. Eventually, Bucky and the waitress reconnect and they get married, and they make their own steakhouse in Iowa where they live happily ever after. That's the movie. I could get more involved in detail on this. However, when it comes to the subject matter, I have to tread lightly because the powers that be on this platform will come crashing down on me if I say certain things that are not allowed to be said. Yeah, I know, we're being watched. I get it. We're going to talk about what I like and what I don't like about this film. We're going to start off with the things that I don't like. Now, I would say the performances, to a degree, are average. I wouldn't say subpar. I wouldn't try to knock it too much. But with a movie that's based on this subject matter, you know there's going to be a lot of bad jokes. There's going to be a lot of double entendres. There's going to be phrasing all over the place. And eventually it can be not overwhelming, it can just really go into maximum overdrive where you don't know whether you should laugh or groan. And in that situation, that's where it takes a toll on you mentally. For me personally, there were times where I'd go, oh, that's okay, yeah, that's funny. Oh, I see what you did there. And eventually they're like, okay, we get it. This is a movie about, yeah, the industry. You know, what else are you going to tell us that we don't already know? Speaking of the performances, the cast alone did what they could with this subject matter. You do have some great performances and you have some mediocre performances. Now, Nick Swardson is a fairly decent performer. However, I feel that this character that he played, he's known to play some socially awkward characters, but this one was turning it up to 11. And in some instances, you shouldn't go up to 11. Sometimes I think only Spinal Tap should do that. However, with some of the other cast members playing these caricatures of people from the industry or just these characters in general in any type of comedy movie, with, let's see, Edward Herrmann and Miriam Flynn playing Bucky's parents, they have done so many great things, especially when they're playing either dry or a little over the top. Edward Herrmann, very well known for shows like Gilmore Girls, and also being the head vampire of The Lost Boys. That was one of my all-time favorite performances of his, no matter what. And then Miriam Flynn, who is in Christmas Vacation. Come on, you gotta love that. And then we also have Curtis Armstrong from Revenge of the Nerds and so many other movies. We also have Christina Ricci playing the waitress. She has done fairly well in a lot of movies and has been making quite a comeback lately. We also have Kevin Nealon from Saturday Night Live fame. We also have Don Johnson, one of the 80s heartthrobs from Miami Vice to so on and so forth, all the way up into the 90s and 2000s with Nash Bridges. And then we also have Stephen Dorff playing one of the main adult actors in this movie, which he provides a fairly decent performance. However, as much as I appreciate a lot of the things that he's done in the past, as well as now, this performance, he's done better. And I'm just going to leave it at that. What I do appreciate about this film is that it definitely shows the social commentary about the industry in a nutshell, and some of the things that happen in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. Gosh, I can't stop. Oh gosh, this movie's making me phrase too much now. I can't take it anymore. Phrasing! I should probably grade this before I get into a lot of trouble with the admins. This movie is definitely an endurance trial. My attention span did wane from time to time, especially after a lot of the overkill of double entendres, phrasing, and bad puns. Now, the story itself, with the social commentary and the parody of the adult industry alone, yes, it is rather entertaining. Rewatchability-wise, I would say I could probably rewatch it one more time for retrospect to see if I missed anything. There are some moments in the movie that are quotable, which is very, very, very difficult because most of the things that you could quote in this movie, you'd get in trouble if you were out in public. That being said, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, or I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm a little ashamed of that. However, maybe this movie might grow on me. You're doing it again. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Anyways, we're going to speed run this out. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you've seen this movie and you agree with me, leave a thumbs up. And if you've seen this movie and you don't agree with me, hey, you can let me know in the comments section below and leave a thumbs down if you need to. Also, make sure you share on social media, push that little red button, and ring the bell for instant notifications. Until then, I'm Wildman West, and we will see you next time for Worst State of Movies, because I can't take this anymore. I'm going to say something to get cat.